And welcome back from that break, peeps. We are here in the JJ Zone, joining the Journey Radio today, talking about the mothers we don't see. As I've explained already, the mothers we don't see are not, women that we don't actually physically see. We're not physically blind to them. We do see them, but these are mothers we don't see because we see these women as something other than a mother. And I think, you know, this year and for every year going forward, we need to celebrate not only the mothers that have been, but the mothers that could be. We need to celebrate just the very essence of what it means to be a mother, and that is showing forth love to those who need it. This is the essence of motherhood. And any woman, in my opinion, any woman who does that, who shows love to someone who needs love, that woman is a mother and should be celebrated as a mother. I go back to what I was talking about, in the earlier segment of the program, where, I was remembering, we've got these single sisters who, and I personally have known some who, when Mother's Day comes around, specifically, decide I'm not going to church today because church today is just going to make me feel awful for the thing I want to be, but I'm not. And I think if we change our thinking and encourage everyone around us to change their thinking, we could help these single sisters not just to feel better about themselves, okay? Because that's not what we're about here on Join the Journey Radio. Because see, the feeling is so temporary. It's so if what's the word I'm trying to say? If ephemeral. I have my tongue tied in a knot. Ephemeral. It's fleeting. It's here today, gone tomorrow. That's not what we want. What we want is joy. We want state, not an emotion, a state. We want a state of being. So we talk about joy, we talk about happiness, we talk about these sorts of things. We're talking about a state, something that lasts, that permeates, that is resilient to the circumstances of life that are just going to be constantly changing, as we go through this mortal journey. We're always going to be, dealing with this or dealing with that. There's always going to be different circumstances around us, but we can have consistently peace, joy, love, happiness, these positive emotions as a state of being. And we can go through our mortal journey, and it all comes back to the way we think. It all comes back to the way we think. So, this is the foundation for establishing that state of being. Now, we can encourage single sisters everywhere to adopt this way of thinking so that they can enter into this state of being. So that even though they may want children of their own but don't have children of their own, they can still feel celebrated for the mothers that they are. And it all starts with you and me and getting this up here in our head, getting that aligned around a more inclusive definition of what it means to be a mother. And this is why I go back to the very essence of what motherhood is, because the essence of motherhood is inclusive. The essence of motherhood is giving and sharing love to those who need it. I recall many years ago, attending a singles conference, and there wasn't a lot that I remember from that particular conference, but I do remember one particular single sister from my stake who is having a conversation with me, and it's just there wasn't anything like romantic about the conversation. It wasn't like she was trying to get in on my good side. She was just being friendly and just noticing that I had so many different things on my mind and trying to do these things for so many other people that, I'm giving all of these things, but who's giving to me, right? It's like, who's supporting me? And so she was just having this friendly conversation as a sign of support for me to make sure that, while I'm busy trying to make sure other people's needs are being met, that here I'm getting my needs met too. And where I feel like I belong, that I feel like I'm loved and needed. And so that she was having this conversation with me, and it was clearly that having that effect. And I remember that from that conference. I don't really remember much else from that conference, to be honest with you. But I do remember this, yes, this saintly single sister who was playing the role of mother. Okay, we're not related. Okay, I mean, well, we are related through Noah. Everyone's related through Noah, right? But this is what I'm getting at. It's like she never bore me. She wasn't that much different from me age-wise. But yet she was playing that motherly role because she was sharing love with someone who needed to feel that. This is the essence of motherhood. And this is what all of us can actually participate in. So I would say, you could make the same definition for fathers, fathers are those who share love. Of course, the way my mother shared love with me and the way my father shared love with me are very different things. And, so I mean, we could say that, women who share love in that motherly way, they're adopting the role of mother. They are mothers, and they should be celebrated for the motherly role that they fill. So, we're coming to the end of the program here. So I just want to leave you with this thought that, by celebrating all women for, the essence of motherhood that they embrace, that they choose to embrace, that we can inspire more acts of love. We can inspire these women to take on this role more often and more extensively so that, we can just fill the world with love. And Mother's Day can be the day that we celebrate the capacity of women to fill the world with love. So let's do that. Let's celebrate the mothers we don't see, along with the mothers we do see. And by so doing, we can push back against the darkness that's growing in the world. That's all the time we have today for Join the Journey Radio. I want to thank everyone for listening, or watching as the case may be. And hopefully I was able to offer you something that was helpful. And if I've been able to do that, if I did that, then, pay it forward. That's all I ask. Pay it forward. If you want to pay it forward back to me, then, hey, get our social media channels, like, subscribe, consume our content, all that good stuff. Help us out with the algorithms. If, on the other hand, you'd rather go some other route, find somebody else in your sphere of influence. The point is not so much who you help, is that you are helping someone. You are giving joy. You are giving goodness. You are lifting your light for all to see and pushing back against the darkness that seems to be growing ever so more in our modern world. And don't forget, come back next week for the wonderful, splendiferous, joyous episode of Joy the Journey Radio. So until next time, this is your host reminding you there is joy to be had all along your journey. Take that joy. Journey on.